Hey, what's up guys? What do you think of making this scene in just about 50 minutes? Today I'll talk about a plugin that allows with just one click export all your 3ds Max scene with all the textures already applied inside Lumion. The plugin is called Lime Exporter. So I'll jump over to my computer and show you how we can do it. Okay, so we have here the scene for 3ds Max. I'm going to now delete a couple of things that I don't need for my scene, so I'm just going to delete them. And so after this, I'll go to the top and Lime Exporter, and it will pop up this window. And on this window, I'll click Whole Scene, okay? And now I'll select where I want to export, and I'll give it a name. Okay, I'll press OK, and this will start exporting. So done. You see, it just took 23 seconds to export this whole scene with all the maps. So now here in Lumion, we'll select this plain template. Okay. Now I'll head over to import the new model, and I'll select the one we just exported and click OK. Now I'll put this in a group called Lime Exporter for better organization and import. So notice that this might take some time to import since it's only one FBX file. Okay, so now here I'm trying to get the best position for my scene. And the first thing I will do, I'll go to my render and I'll select the realistic style effect since I want this to be faster, so I'll just edit this effect. Now I'll add the 2-point perspective. This will straighten my lines. And I'll save the camera position by clicking here. Now let's add a real skies effect. Okay. I want a clear one, so this 1:2. Just adjust the position so the sun is facing the front facade of the building and the other part is in shadow. Okay, now let's see what else. On the depth of field effect, I'll just edit the effect to be focused on this facade, front facade, and I'll just blur a little bit the background. Okay, now exposure I will just increase a little bit. The sharpen I will put about 1, sorry. And the temperature I will decrease it so it's a little bit colder. And I'll increase the vibrance a lot because I want this image to be with a lot of bright colors. And I'll just play around with a little bit of contrast as well. And I think it's done for now. Now about the reflection, I'll just leave it as it is. Hyperlight, the same thing. Then the skylight, I'll increase the brightness all the way up and apply these 2 effects as well. Now as for the shadow, I'll increase the shadow distance a little bit. I'll decrease the brightness of the shadow. I want the shadows to be a little bit darker. And I think everything else I'll leave it as it is. The chromatic aberrations, I'll just a bit. And let's see what else. It's fine, everything. I'll add a little bit of precipitation. So I'll remove these particles and I'll just adjust a little bit here. Okay, slightly like this. It's fine. Go back. I also want to have a little bit of fog effect. So I'll just go here to effects and I'll go to fog. So I'll just adjust the parameters a little bit. So we have just slightly a little bit of fog. Okay. Now another thing I want to have, let's add as well some volumetric light. So we can have some beams coming from the left side So it's a cool effect when you have some dust particles in the air. Let's just over to effects again, and here we have the volumetric sunlight. So I will adjust this to be just slightly. I think like this is good. Okay. By the way, I've launched my Lumion render course. It's an in-depth course where I teach you everything you need to know on how to create realistic high-quality images with Lumion. The course is packed with great bonuses, including some of my most popular Lumion scenes that you can get for free if you join the course. I'll leave a link in the description below this video. Now let's go back to our build mode. And this script imports all the textures with the FBX file. So I'll just adjust them a little bit. So here I'm just adding a glass material, and I'll be adjusting some of the parameters for these textures. For the grass, I'll just select a 3D grass from Lumion library. Okay, and now inside the building, I'll just add some area lights to give some ambience to the interior. I'll start adding some vegetation elements to make this scene more interesting and natural. Okay, I'll just select on this area, since I want to cover the background, the mask placement tool, and I'll add a couple of trees to block my horizon view. And after this I'll continue to add some vegetation elements to my scene. So I'll bring an airplane from Lumion library and I'll scale it down a bit and add it to my scene. This will give it a more cityscape feel, okay? So I'll add a couple of buildings as well. I'll add a couple of trees as well to the front facade of my building, okay? So it will give some reflection on these big windows. Now I'll start adding some reflection planes. This is telling Lumion which areas you want to have the high quality reflections. Okay, I'll add a couple of spotlights here to light up and enhance even more this facade, this metal facade of the building. So I think this is looking really nice. And here I'll just be adjusting this background building's position so they show up a little bit better in our render. So you can do this by going to the effects, you know, and just on the camera position. You can still select things and move them around. So I'll take a render and see how this is looking so far. It's looking nice, but I'll just add some more vegetation elements to my scene. I will just duplicate this light and gonna light up from the bottom of this part of the building as well. So we have a little bit more interesting part as well on this metal frames here. Okay, so now this is looking much better. I will now adjust a little bit my camera position, and I will take my final render with the specular, the lighting and the color mask maps selected. Now let's head over to Photoshop. Here I'm just adjusting my color correction in Camera Raw filter. I want this scene to look bright and colorful, so I'm just adjust a little bit the vibrance again and the saturation, make it a little bit more with more light as well, more bright. And okay, this is fine. I'll continue adjusting the colors of this scene, so I'll add more color balance and I'll adjust it to be a little bit more reddish. Okay. I want to enhance even more the volumetric lighting, so to do this I'll create a new layer and I'm going to blur it like this, and I'll give it a yellowish color, very light yellow, like this is fine, and I'm just going to drag like this and change the blend mode to screen and adjust a little bit the fill as well. And I'll also add another gradient from the bottom because I want my foreground to be a little bit darker, so we have our focus on the building. Okay, lastly I will select my color ID mask, I'll select the sky, and I'll just adjust the colors a little bit again. Okay. And this is my final result. If you like this video, give me a thumb up, subscribe and click the bell button to get notified when my new videos go live. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below the video. See you in the next ones.